Hey friends, welcome to my kitchen. Today, let's can some slaw. The first thing we want to do, if you watched my last video of how I can sauerkraut, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take our cabbage and we're going to clean off the yucky parts, the yucky pieces of the leaves, and get those ready and rinse them off. We've rinsed off the cabbage now, and we're going to pat it dry. We're going to quarter it, cut out the core. So I just got this food processor. Our last one bit the dust. We had it for years and years and it bit the dust on us at Christmas time. So went and bought another one, and today we're going to try it out. I have my slicer blade on that we're going to try to use to shred our cabbage. Let's see if it works. I think it worked. Check this out, guys. It worked really, really good. So I think this is going to be a good consistency for us. Good consistency. Our next step is we are going to put in 2 tablespoons of pickling salt. And we're going to let our cabbage rest for a few minutes. I'm going to let it rest for about half an hour. And what this is going to do is that salt is going to cause our cabbage to wilt. We want it to wilt a little bit so that it's easier to pack. And all right, we're going to let that set for about 30 minutes, and we'll be back. While we are letting our cabbage weep, I'm going to get the rest of our ingredients started. And we're going to do a red bell pepper, and we're going to dice it up. Okay, I've got the old food processor cleaned up and ready to go. So I'm going to try this, dicing our red bell peppers in the food processor. I don't think that worked very well. Yuck. Push. The old-fashioned way with a knife. Friends, I didn't video it because I didn't know if it would work. Julienne my celery, and I used my slicer that I on my food processor. And this is what we got, which is perfect. So now we're just going to dice them up a little bit smaller. Our carrots. And for this, I use the shredder blades on my food processor. But we are still going to dice them up just a little bit more. Our slaw has been wilting for half an hour. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to rinse this and drain it, and we're going to get ready to put it in our jars. I'm not really sure how to do this, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to start putting this in water and getting the salt off, what we want to do. Before you freak out, I'm pouring it into a strainer, pressing it in. to get all of that out. Now we're ready to mix in our vegetables. I don't have another pan, so we're making do with what we have. I've rinsed this out, got all the salt residue out. We're going to put our coleslaw back in there, or our cabbage back in. We're going to mix in our veggies. Our celery. I don't know, this is probably a cup and a half. I'm not really sure. Just kind of how you want your slaw to look is how much vegetables you're going to put in there. Carrots. And bell pepper. I forgot to video me making the brine for our slaw, and so I will put the recipe on the screen. And what I used was 2 1/3 cups of sugar, 2 1/2 cups of vinegar, 2 cups of water, and a tablespoon of pickling salt. And we're going to put those on the stove and just let it heat up slowly. And I just heat mine up long enough to melt the sugar and the salt. See how clear the brine is? And it's warm, everything is melted, so it's good to go. We're going to pack our jars. We got these lids good and clean, and that there's no salt, sugar, vinegar, anything like that on them. We want to get a good seal on those lids. I had my lids in hot water for just a little bit. It doesn't have to boil, but you just want it to be really hot. And what that does is that gets your rubbers on the lids softened so that you'll have a good seal on your jars. And put our rings on them and tighten them down. Hot, the water is boiling, so we're going to let those, cover those and let those roll. We have water bath for 15 minutes. We're going to remove them now and place them on a towel. Just going to let these cool down on their own for the next 12 to 24 hours.